and now for something completely different than what you had before. It's actually a film that I chose, or helped Daniela to choose, because of the theme, which is about maids in Brazil. And I think that's quite interesting because it's not something that they get to know how it works in the UK very well. They don't really know the truth of what happened. So this is like an inward look into Brazilian families from the point of view of the maids. There's a saying in Brazil that if you're a woman, you either are a maid or you have a maid, which means that almost all upper class families actually have a maid, or more than one. Often they have someone to cook, someone to look after the kids, someone in the weekend, someone when they go on holidays. The middle class as well, is almost the majority of them will have a maid. There's actually over 6 million of them in the country. I've heard today there's actually one of the countries with the largest number of maids in the world, which is quite impressive. Sadly, of course, because they often come from very poor backgrounds, they had very low education, they come from poor regions of Brazil trying to find a better opportunity in the south of Brazil or in the centre, and a lot of them haven't completed the secondary school, or they've only tried and they dropped out of school, so they're trying to find an option. For that reason, a lot of them, they can be exploited when they work, so they work overtime, but they won't get any pay, and they won't get any sort of sick pay or maternity leave. If they get pregnant, they might just get fired, or they might be just asked to go without any notice and not get any redundancy pay or anything like that. But in the other hand, a lot of them maybe, or at least it's been the tradition so far, that a lot of them may come to the family when they're quite young, sometimes when they are sort of 10 or teenagers, or come up with their mum and to work out, and they can stay in the house and can be like a family maid, and they become part of the family and can be there for 20 odd years. My own family actually has a maid that's been there for 25 years in my family, and she's like part of the family, and me and my sister call her our second mum. So and it's also something that I think is hard for sort of people from different countries to understand, that they can also be considered part of the family and be treated very well. Like my maid gets all the benefits, and my parents pay her all sort of doctors and dentistry and everything else that she needs. So I wanted people to sort of have a better understanding of what it is, and this one is filmed from different sides of the maids, and they try to portray sort of the good sides, the bad sides, but it is interesting because it's only from their point of view, so they don't show the bosses at any point, they don't show the owners of the houses or the employees. It's just from their side of view, so you see what they think. The director of the film is Fernando Meirelles, which is the director from City of God, it's probably his most well-known film. He's gone Hollywood after that, and he's done Blindness and 360 recently, which also got quite a big sort of audience after that. But this was actually his first feature film, and he was there before City of God. And he was done in 2001, which is just after the Brazilians were trying to sort of, what they call it, like retake the cinema heritage after a period that was financially very hard to make film in Brazil. So on the late 90s and early 2000s, they started trying to make films again and trying to use the scripts that they were written in the 90s but didn't have the chance to. So this film was actually based on a play where the playwrights interviewed over 200 maids and made sort of little stereotypes of what kind of backgrounds they had, and then created a character in each of them. And the director did the same. So there's 5 maids on the film. They each represent like a stereotypical maid, a stereotypical background or origins, or where they come from and what situations they go through. And yeah, there's just you can see sort of the play aspects or the theatrical aspects when you're looking at it. Just recently, it's been quite a lot of changes on the way Brazil has been growing as economically, and a lot of the maids now have got more qualifications and they're being able to get better jobs. And a lot of the families are now, so middle class and upper class families, are struggling to find affordable sort of domestic work for them. So it's just been something recently that's interesting to know. I hope you enjoyed the film. It's one of my favourite ones. So let me know what you think. Thank you.